What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another video. My name is Ralli Roots and I'm a full-time online reseller. So we buy stuff and then we sell it on platforms like eBay, Amazon, Depop, Instagram. Basically, we sell stuff online for a living. So this channel is all about teaching people how to be successful selling stuff online. So if you're interested in content like this, please make sure to subscribe. Today is Saturday, April 25th, and I am coming to you from just outside of Tampa, Florida, from our home. And in today's video, I want to share with you some of our higher end t-shirt sales from the past week. So some of you, I'm sure, already know, we specialize in selling vintage t-shirts, and sometimes we get some pretty decent sales on the vintage t-shirts that we sell. And last week in particular, we sold some pretty interesting t-shirts for over $125 each. So that's what today's video is going to be about, and the main reason why I decided to make this video today is so that you can get an idea of what the current vintage t-shirt market is currently like. And then also so that if you see vintage t-shirts like this out in the wild when thrift stores open again, or if you're at a market, or if you're at an estate sale, wherever you are, maybe this video will show you some t-shirts to be on the lookout for. So please do me a favor, guys and girls, if you enjoy this content, hit the thumbs up button. It lets us know that we're doing a good job, and it tells us that we should continue to make videos like this. Now, just to be completely transparent, all of the t-shirts in today's video came from us doing buyouts, from buying out other people's collections, from buying wholesale a bunch of t-shirts at once. All these t-shirts were in larger wholesale buyouts. We didn't personally thrift any of them, but that doesn't mean that they aren't out there to be thrifted. We have thrifted some very expensive t-shirts in the past. The other thing to note is that all of the sales I'm going to show you today were either direct sales through Instagram or sales through Depop. So with higher end vintage, we find that eBay typically isn't the best place to list them. We like to go direct to our market on Instagram, or we like to list them direct on Depop because we feel that that app commands a higher vintage price. Not that there's anything wrong with eBay. We sell a lot of vintage on eBay as well. We just think that we can get more money out of the shirts on different platforms. Now with direct sales on Instagram, we're typically getting those payments through friends and family PayPal or Venmo or Cash App, so there's no fees associated with them besides obviously taxes on the money that we make. And then when we sell something on Depop, those fees are 10%. So just keep that in mind, but I'm talking about the numbers today. I'm going to show you what the t-shirt sold for, not the final price after fees. All right, so with that being said, I'm going to show you 15 vintage t-shirts that we sold within the past week for over $125 a piece. T-shirt number one, we sold this really cool Soul for Real shirt. It had amazing graphics on it. I've seen this shirt a few times, but the colors are typically pretty faded. This one had very nice vibrant colors on the front and on the back. It was a beautiful shirt in great condition, and it sold for $375. So a lot of people don't realize that the market for shirts like this, rare, vintage, rap style t-shirts, the market's very, very good. $375 for a t-shirt seems like a lot of money, but those t-shirts are in very high demand, and the market on them is actually just increasing at the moment because they're hard to find. Again, it's supply and demand, right? So the supply is very limited and the demand is quite high right now, where people are looking for those true vintage t-shirts in good condition. This one was great, good condition, like I said, nice colors, great graphic, front and back, beautiful shirts, and a great $375 sale. Next up, another rap tee. This is a Tupac shirt, and it sold for $220. Now, Tupac shirts can range from $150 all the way up to, I've seen some of them sell for $1,000 plus. This one was more basic, and it was part of a lot, so we sold like 4 or 5 shirts together. So we did discount the shirt a little bit, but $220, still a great price for this shirt because it was pretty plain, just a black shirt with white lettering. So sometimes the shirt doesn't have to be super fancy to command a high dollar amount, but definitely the ones with Tupac on it, Machiavelli on the back, the ones that are more that rap tee style shirt, those ones do command more money, but still this one sold for $220, so we can't complain about that. Next up, we have a Freddy Kruger Nightmare on Elm Street shirt. This was actually one of the very first scary movies that I watched, so it actually kind of hit home for me. I love the horror t-shirt genre, and this one was really, really nice. So it sold for $150, and it went to a collector, which I always like it when we can find the right home. It's not going to like someone who's going to just resell it on, which there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, that's what we do. But I like to know when a t-shirt is going to like someone who's going to really appreciate that shirt. So that's cool. Shirt number 4, another horror genre shirt. This is a Texas Chainsaw Massacre t-shirt. and it sold for $150. Actually, I think that Freddy Kruger shirt and this Texas Chainsaw Massacre shirt may have sold together as a lot for $300, so $150 for each shirt. I think that sold to the same person who, again, collects horror genre shirts. Next up, one of my favorite shirts. This one was pretty tough for me not to keep, but I'm actually still looking for, this is an all-over print Speed Racer shirt. I've been trying to find in my size for a decent price, but I haven't found it yet. But anyway, this Speed Racer was still a great shirt and still sold for really decent money. It was just a black Speed Racer shirt with the big graphic on the front, and it sold for $200. So really quick, guys and girls, I just want to pause the video here just to let you know that we are currently buying vintage t-shirts like the ones in this videos, higher and lower end t-shirts in bulk. So if you have vintage t-shirts in bulk, and when I say bulk, really anything that's like 20 t-shirts or more, we would be interested in purchasing them as a lot. So if you have shirts like that, please feel free to reach out to us. You can either email us, hello@ralliroots.com. You can go on Instagram @ralliroots and hit us up and let us know what you have. Or you can reach out to our head buyer, Mike. His Instagram account is NY State of Mind. I'll leave it in the description of this video. I'll leave all our contact information in the description of this video. But we're currently on the lookout for Disney, horror, music, NASCAR, wrestling, Looney Tunes, anime, sports shirts, rap tees, video game stuff, pop culture stuff, pretty much anything that's cool and vintage in the t-shirt category. That's what we're currently after. The other thing is, we're not the type of people to offer $20 on a $100 t-shirt. We will actually pay you fair prices for your t-shirts. I don't like it when people offer really low amounts on something that they know is very valuable. That's not us. We would love to pay up for items that are worth money. Obviously, we have to be able to make a little bit of money on the items ourselves, but we know the market, we know the value of these items, and we're happy to pay the correct price for them. So if you do have stuff like that, please feel free to reach out to us. We would love to work with you. Okay, back to the sales. Shirt number 6. This was one that we were very sad to see go, especially for the price that we sold it at. We could have held out. I mean, this was, I think it's at least an $800 shirt, but the shirt is a Dr. Dre shirt. It's the Helter Skelter one. Super rare, super valuable shirt, very sought after. We sold it for the low amount of $575. But again, we sold it for that amount because it was part of a lot. I think it was 5 or 6 t-shirts for around $2,000 that we sent to one person who, again, knows vintage. He was very excited to get this shirt. He'd been looking for it for a while. So again, it went to the correct home, which I was happy about, and we still made some decent money on it. It's crazy to think that a t-shirt can sell for $575, and that's cheap. But it did, and again, we're happy that it went to the right home. Keeping it going, we sold a Redman Method Man wrap t-shirt. That one sold for, I think, a pretty decent price. It sold for $450. We also sold a few wrestling shirts. This was a Kane wrestling shirt, and it sold for $125. Okay, so number 9 is actually pretty interesting. We sold 2 vintage Chicago Bulls wrap tees, and these are interesting because we actually won these in raffles. Sometimes on Instagram, vintage collectors or vintage accounts will hold raffles where you'll pay like $20, $30 for a spot in the raffle, and if your name is chosen, you win the t-shirt. So that's what happened on both of these t-shirts. It was 2 different raffles, 2 different times that we won. The first Chicago Bulls shirt that was in great condition, that one sold for $280, and the second one that was kind of faded but still a really cool shirt, and I actually really liked the look of that shirt, but that one sold for $200. So both shirts together sold for $480, and we were into them for less than $100. Raffles are cool. Obviously, it's kind of gambling, but they're fun sometimes if you have extra money just to throw it in there and see if you hit. Next up is an OJ Simpson shirt. This is one of the cheaper ones. I've seen OJ shirts sell for quite a bit of money, but this one was cool, still a cool graphic, but there's definitely more expensive ones out there. This shirt sold for $125. Another music tee, Metallica has a great following. Even the newer Metallica shirts can sell for quite a decent amount of money. This was a 1989 Metallica t-shirt, and it sold for $155. Next up was this really cool World's Day of Atonement shirt. Again, beautiful graphic, really nice vibrant colors on it. I believe it was from 1996 was the World's Day of Atonement shirt. We've sold these a few times for between $100 to $150. This particular one sold for $125. So the next one I want to talk about is an IceCube t-shirt, but this is an interesting one because we actually purchased these shirts as a bundle. Like we got, it was something like, I want to say almost 800 t-shirts total, but within this lot, we got 9 dead stock IceCube t-shirts. And when I say dead stocks, these things still had the Winterland tags attached to them. Amazing to find vintage t-shirts that are dead stock with the tags still attached, especially black ones that are not dry rot. Because a lot of the times with these dead stock vintage black t-shirts, you'll get them and you think they're amazing, and then you'll like unfold them and they just like fall apart in your hands, which is really sad. But these ones were still in great condition, which we're super happy about. So we got 9 of those shirts, new with tags still on them. I think we raffled off like 4 or 5 of them and sold the rest, but on average they sold for 250 bucks a piece. And then last but not least, this actually isn't a t-shirt, but I wanted to include it because I thought it was really cool. I really like the chalk line, the old chalk line jackets, and this was a David Robinson one, which I was a big Spurs fan when I was a kid. I love the Bulls, but I also love the Spurs. We lived in Texas and I was really into basketball back in the day, so I thought this was a really cool jacket, and it ended up going to one of our students, and we gave him a deal. We only sold it for $130, which I think is a really good deal for that jacket. But yeah, even though it's not a t-shirt, it's still sold for over $125, so I wanted to include it in this video so you can see that and know to be on the lookout for those vintage chalkline jackets. So there you go, guys and girls. There's 15 vintage items that we sold for over $125, and that was within the past, I want to say the past like 7 to 10 days. So hopefully now you've seen a few things to be on the lookout for when you're out there, and hopefully you can see that some of these vintage shirts and jackets have some amazing value. So don't be scared sometimes to pay up for certain items when you know that the true value of them is decent out there. And also, I want you guys to understand that the vintage market is still very, very good. People are still buying. Obviously, we're in a very strange time right now, but people are still spending money on vintage, which is great for us, and it's great for you, and it's great for the vintage market because buyers are sellers, myself included. I have no problem spending $100 plus on a t-shirt that I've been looking out for. And obviously I am not alone in thinking that way. So I would much rather pay $100 for a true vintage, really cool t-shirt that isn't gonna go into the landfill. I would rather pay $100 for that than spend $100 on a Supreme t-shirt drop. It's just the way that I like to look at things. I would rather reuse an old vintage t-shirt that's still cool, that I still appreciate, that's something that I still like, opposed to putting money into something that's just printed t-shirts over and over again. Nothing against the hype game, but it's just the way that I think. Anyway, guys, again, please hit the thumbs up button on this video and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. I appreciate you guys watching this. Really, really, I do. I hope you know that. And thank you so much. I'm Ralli Roots. We'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Bye.